Hi folks, welcome to this week's Inside Track with Scotty Sun. I've got the ghost of Jim Delahunt here with me. Jim's having a few technical problems, so we're just going to be audio him this week. So it'll just be my ugly mug you have to look at. So how are you, Jim? We had the Dante this week at York. We've got a new Derby favourite, Pride of Arras, hugely impressive, 4-1, joint favourite with ruling court now. Is that justified? Do you think?
Yeah, I'm going to haunt you for the next 20 minutes, Robert. I'm afraid there's technical problems with the camera this morning. But yeah, watched the Dante yesterday. Ruling court, the 2000 Guineas winner, is now the joint favourite with that Pride of Arras that you mentioned. I thought the horse won very, very well indeed. Only its second start. I wonder if it took Rafe Beckett a bit by surprise, just the way he was chatting afterwards. But certainly an impressive performance and certainly justifies him going to the head of the market. You just have to worry or wonder rather about the Lion in winter. I don't think that was anything like his true form. He started to sweat up, get a bit agitated beforehand down at the start, bolted out. I think he hit the stalls the way Frankel hit the stalls in the 2000 Guineas, and it really jolted him up, and he was pulling for his head for a furlong. Ryan Moore had to really give him a tug to settle him, and I don't think he was ever going that great after that. But he made up his ground, and he wasn't beaten very far in the end. When you watch the replay, he wasn't beaten far at all. And I'm one of the ones in the camp that says, just ignore that run from the Lion in winter and let's just see what the vibes are over the next couple of weeks. I mean, we won't be able to see him again. He'll go straight to Epsom now. So we're going to have to take Aidan O'Brien's word for it. But if Ryan Moore's on that horse in the Derby, I certainly would not rule that out.
It was a great day for Jim Goldie with American Affair winning again impressively. I mean, is he now starting to look like a group horse for Jim's stable?
Yeah, I think he has for a while, Robert. I napped it in the paper on Thursday. I was delighted with that. He was 92 the night before. I did say in the Sunday column last week that I was putting that in because you could get an early price the night before, and he was 92 the night before, won at 7-2. Jim Goldie's always been very, very enthusiastic about this horse. I mean, he went into that race yesterday with a Group 3 entry at Haydock next Saturday, a Group 1 entry at Royal Ascot next month. So the ability's always been there. And what I emphasised on Twitter yesterday was that this horse went off 11-4 favourite for the Ayr Gold Cup. 11-4. And things didn't work out for it that day. It was one of the biggest public gambles I have ever witnessed. Things didn't work out for it in the Ayr Gold Cup, but of course he'd won the Portland at Doncaster before that. He came out and won that big sprint at Musselburgh first time out. He's now won that race at York yesterday very, very easily indeed. I mean, Paul Morenin said he hit the front, pulled up. And that's the way it looked to me. So, yeah, he's a group horse in the making. Whether they go to that Group 3 next week, I've not spoken to Jim or found out whether that's going to happen or not, but he's definitely geared up for that Group 1 at Royal Ascot. And Jim's record at Ascot and Goodwood over the years has been absolutely phenomenal. So he certainly knows when to take a good horse down there, Robert.
Definitely. Doesn't he miss the target when he goes
No.
for these big pots down there very often, does he? We had the French Thousand Guineas last week, and there's been a lot of controversy about She's
Yeah.
Perfect being disqualified. And I have to say, watching it live and even watching the first replay, I didn't see too much wrong with it. But once you start seeing the head on, you can
Yeah.
see why the French stewards have intervened. This Basher Watts syndicate, they've had a lot of sympathy this week. Where do you stand on it? Do you think the French probably just got it right?
Well, first of all, yes, of course, I'm very sympathetic. I mean, the best horse won on the day, without a doubt. But French rules are French rules, the same as British rules are British rules, Irish rules are Irish rules. So we have to go with the French rules when we're racing in Paris. And I'm afraid under the French rules, She's Perfect broke those rules and had to go behind the runner-up. So it was an open and shut case as far as I was concerned with the rules. But yes, of course, you have to feel sorry for the winner. You have to feel sorry for Kieran Schumacher as well. But rules is rules. The rules were broken, and that's as far as it goes, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, the other big bit of news the last week or so since we had our last programme is Rachel Blackmore retiring. A
Yeah,
jockey that we've both liked. We've put up a lot of our horses in this show over the last 6 months that we've been doing it. I mean, phenomenal career. She's won everything there is to win. Will we ever see a female rider like her ever again?
yeah, and a reminder that she was very late to the party. She was an amateur for quite a while and took a long time to make the big breakthrough. But once she broke through, Robert, she was absolutely superb. It was just a shame that some of those biggest moments she had in at Cheltenham and Aintree, there were no crowds because of COVID. It was just phenomenal what she did on those horses, and she has had a tremendous career, ably supported by Shark Hanlon, of course, and also Henry de Bromhead. And I had a hunch that she would go either Cheltenham or Aintree. She didn't. She hung on, and then of course she had a booked ride that night. She retired. She also had two booked rides the next day, so it was a very sudden decision. But I mean, a lot of old jockeys told me in the past that you just wake up one morning and you decide that's it, and I think that's what's happened to Rachel. They were joking on racing TV. Paul Townend, who's a great friend of hers from the pony racing days, of course. He was joking on racing TV. He said, "Oh yeah, I've just heard she's retired. What's she going to do? Go off and babysit Brian Hayes? I mean, if that's the case, she'll be back in a month." So he was laughing about it, but she's obviously decided to get out while the going's good, and good luck to her. Who knows what she'll do? I haven't heard or read anything that she's going to do anything else in racing at the moment. She's got plenty of time on her side, of course. I mean, Nina Carberry, she's a member of Parliament in the European Parliament at the moment. Nina Carberry, I was going to say Tracy Walsh, Katie Walsh, Ruby Walsh's sister. She buys and sells horses now. She's also Mrs. Ross O'Sullivan, so she's part of a training partnership. So who knows where Rachel will end up? But what a career she's had. You're absolutely right to point it out.
Yeah, I think racing would be mad not to try and use her in some capacity going forward because,
Yeah.
especially in Ireland, I mean, I was listening to Henry de Bromhead talking about her about just how sort of big a star she is to young racing fans, just on how good she is with her time with young racing fans in Ireland. So I think racing really needs to think about how they can use her best because she really has been a trailblazer for female riders.
Yeah, you might have been there, Robert, but I interviewed her one day at Perth. It was all pre-arranged. She was coming to ride a couple of horses at Perth, and we arranged to do an interview in the paddock. And the crowd round the paddock for Rachel that day was absolutely phenomenal. And her agent had brought some cards for her to sign, and we ran out, which was just said the story. So she's hugely popular, and as you say, I just hope she's not lost to racing. I doubt very much she will be.
Yeah, just one person that is going to be lost to racing, a trainer up our neck of the woods, James Ewart. Was that a bit of a shock hearing him decide to chuck it? I mean, is it a bad sign when a young up and coming trainer, I mean, he's only in his mid 40s, 20, 30 horses in his stable, when they feel they can't make it pay? Is that a worrying trend starting to develop?
There's no doubt it's worrying. It's just an absolute shame that he's not been able to make it pay. But I think a lot of trainers do sort of go along at the bottom of the fish tank, just sort of getting by. And James and his family have obviously decided that they're fed up just getting by, and they're going off to do something else. And I think Ed Watson pointed out that there's plenty in the future for him, a business that he started and it seems to be going well. So good luck to him with that. But it is a shame, but it's a very difficult business to make pay unless you're in the top 20.
Yeah,
And James never really made it into that upper echelon of the training ranks, and it's very, very difficult. And but good luck to him in the future. Just a shame, especially after those great, really good horses that he had, especially 2 Mile Chasers. He was a wizard with those.
yeah,
Just a
definitely.
shame that he's had to pack it in.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we'll start looking at this weekend's action. The Lockinge is the main race over the weekend. You got a selection this, Jim. I believe you fancied Dancing Gemini.
Very much so. He was a horse that they tried over a mile and a half in the Derby last year. It didn't work out. He still actually ran well when you look at the form book. He actually ran a decent race, despite the fact he clearly didn't stay a mile and a half. He was brought back to a mile towards the end of the season. He ran particularly well, but he's obviously been reinvented over the winter, completely reinvented as a miler. Of course, he did have top class classic form in the French 2000 Guineas as a miler before that Derby run. And I thought at Sandown, he just looked power packed. He looked a real class act. Ryan Moore has been booked, controversial to some, but that's what Lester Piggott used to do, get on all the best horses. Ryan Moore has got on Dancing Gemini for Roger Teal. I think fitness on his side. I think the fact that he goes to this race in peak form, I think that's just going to give him the edge over Rosalien, the returning Rosalien after not injury. I think as you were pointing out to me, that it was some other kind of problem he had, Robert.
Yeah, it was a chest infection, I believe. I mean, he's been off 333 days since winning the St James Palace at Royal Ascot. But
Yeah,
I mean, I quite like Rosalien. I mean, I liked him before the Guineas, and then he went and won the Irish Guineas. Richard Hannon has said he's had him at Newbury and he's had him at Kempton for two
yeah,
racecourse gallops and to try and make sure he's match fit. So he thinks he's going to have him spot on. The Hannon stables won this race 5 times. And I mean, I know 2-year-old form is a long time ago now, and Dancing Gemini looks a
yeah,
completely different horse. But I mean, Rosalie did beat him 15 lengths back in the
yeah.
day over 7 furlongs. So I mean, I mean, it's going to be a cracking race. I mean, I think it's going to be a real treat, but. I would just fall down on the side of Rosalie, and I think if Hannon has got him as fit as he believes he's got him.
I'm pretty sure we're going to be first and second. Just wait and see what order they're going to be in on Saturday. The other horse I fancy at Newbury on Saturday, I'll come to in a minute, but I think we both fancy one in the 125, Robert, and that's an Aidan O'Brien horse, Ides of March.
Yeah, I mean Ryan Moore on him as well. I mean he's got a nice low draw and two. He was second to Whistle Jacket at Navan, I think it was.
Yeah.
Who was Whistle Jacket was second in the middle park. So I think he might get to the front here, and he's just a big galloper. I mean, I think he'll be very hard to reel in. Do you not?
Yeah, he's formed at the Curragh last year, maidens, and he ended up in a Group 3, I think, 4-3-1-1. That's a pretty stiff track over there. He's at 6 furlongs at Newbury. I think that'll suit him, the straight track there. Wayne Lorden was in the saddle last time, and of course, as you said, Ryan Moore takes over. I think they mean business with this, bringing it for a listed race at Newbury. I looked at the prices this morning. We're not going to get rich, Robert, but 11 to 8 will do me. It'll be a nice start to the day.
Is there anything else in the Newbury card that you want to flag up?
Yeah, very much so. My headline bet in the inside track column on Thursday was a horse called Elmon Jed, trained by William Haggis, who's very much in form. You have to wonder if William Haggis is ever out of form. He seems to be one of those 12 months all-round trainers. William Haggis trains this Elmon Jed. He runs in the Shadwell colours. Jim Crowley obviously will be in the saddle. His handicap mark is £5 higher than it was when he won at York at the end of last year. They decided to swerve a handicap at York this week to wait for this. The York handicap was worth 60. This is worth 75. It's the exact same class two. It's the exact same band width, 0 to 105. I think he'll have no problem with his new handicap, a plus £5 higher than last year. The reason I think that is that he ran off this new handicap in a race at Newmarket's Craven meeting. It was behind his new stablemate, More Thunder, who used to be trained by Sir Michael Stout, now with Haggis. And of course, that horse came out and followed up on 2000 Guineas Day. The form looks rock solid. I didn't think Elmon Jed looked wound up for that race at Newmarket first time. He will be on Saturday. And the key thing is that he's back on fast ground. I haven't double checked, I think the blinkers are back on as well. Crowley in the saddle, Elmon Jed 7-2 last night. That'll very much do for me in the 3:45 Newbury on Saturday.
Yeah, and it's a William Haggis horse at Newmarket. I want to speak about next as well. Leafy,
Yeah.
the 105, who in the last 2 years has taken a big step forward for his first run to his second run of the season. He bombed at Goodwood earlier this month, but that's not unusual for him. Both times his second run's been far better than the first. He was second to the Ergo Cup winner Lethal Levi at Newbury off the same mark at 7 furlongs last season. So I think going back to 7 furlongs at Newmarket, back to Newmarket where he's got a good record, and the Haggis yard, as you say, always in form. I think Leafy in the 105 must have a right chance. I think Haggis has got 11 winners in the last 2 weeks,
Yeah, it's phenomenal.
which is a fair old strike rate. So, and then the other one I would mention is the 215, which is a bit more of a wild one, is Royal Velvet, who was an eye-catching fourth, only beat a length and a quarter at Yarmouth the last time out. Didn't look to me to be given too hard a time. He got kind of slow run race. O'Sheen Murphy was in the saddle. He kind of got caught behind horses. He was a wee bit slow away as well. I think if they ride him a bit more prominently, he'll have a right chance because he's quite fast finishing that day. And the only thing is he's kind of got to prove that he can do it away for Yarmouth. He's turned out a bit of a course specialist there, but Kieran Fallon rides this one for William Knight, and they've got a 23% strike rate when they team up. So about 6-1 Royal Velvet and the 215 is one that I'm quite keen on.
And I think you've got Kieran Fallon in both of those. And what a backup jockey he is to have, for William Haggis. He's got Tom Marquand as his main rider. Crowley rides the Shadwell horses, of course. And Fallon, everything he seems to get on is the kind of second string seems to run well. And when he's at the away meeting and Marquand's riding winners at the main meeting, Fallon seems to be doing the business. So an absolutely tremendous young jockey to have on side. And I hope you get a couple of winners at Newmarket, Robert.
Yeah, and we're talking about stables in form. There's nobody in better form than Paul Robson at the moment, who's
Oh,
started the season with a bang. He's had 3 winners for his first 4 runners. The fourth one ran yesterday and was running really well. Fetch on Petra. He was stepping up and trip to 3 miles, just didn't stay. There was nothing wrong with its
yeah,
run other than the fact his stamina just gave out and
yeah.
his legs turned to jelly between the last two at Perth. But he takes one down to Bangor on Saturday night at 10:05. He's got a record of 2 winners for 5 runners at Bangor. The horse is called Azza. She's won her last two. I think he's just found the key to her. Uh, she's up £10 for her two wins in March and April, but I think there's a bit more still to come under the bonnet here off 97. She was second off 103 before. I think he's improving her. I believe Paul's installed a new gallop last year, and it's just taken him 6, 7 months just to get used to the
Yeah,
gallop, and used to the surroundings, know how to train the horses properly on it, and you're seeing that in his results. They're absolutely flying at the moment, so there doesn't look too much pace in the race either. So she might just get away in the lead again, and I think they'll find her very hard to catch. Now Sue Smith's got one Heather Honey in the race, which is a danger for stepping up and tip. One at Newcastle last time, but that one's up £8. And then Skelton's got one stepping up and tip for the first time as well, up to 3 miles, and he's going along. Another trainer that never seems to go out of form, is he? He's going along at a 43%.
yeah.
He's going along at a 43% strike rate just now, so you have to respect everything he runs. But I just think Asa might have one more day in her at least. So I don't have any prices at the moment, but I think with Paul's form, his record at the track, the fact that he seems to be eking out improvement from her by every run, I think she's definitely worth a bet. What about Sunday, Jim? You get anything you fancy on Sunday?
Not at the moment. I'm just going to hang fire on that. There was one horse I did hope might have been running at the Sky Bet Series meeting at Newmarket on Sunday, which I've just checked and it isn't. So I'm going to have another good look at that, and I'll be all over that in the Sunday diary column in the Scottish Sun on Sunday. And just before you go, Robert, just a mention for Ryan Mania. You mentioned Paul Robson, but what a difference Ryan Mania is making on those horses.
Yeah, he rode a few for Paul last year, and
Yeah,
they seem to have cemented the relationship now. He's going to be riding pretty much all of Paul's horses when he can do the weights, because as we know,
yeah, of
Ryan can't
course.
do he
Yeah.
doesn't do the light weights, but he's going to ride for Paul a lot, which he's a cracking signing for the stable. I always think he's one of the best front running jockeys around.
Yeah, absolutely. And good luck to Paul with that one at Bangor on Saturday evening. And I hope that we all have a good weekend, and I hope everybody watching has a good weekend. And fingers crossed we get a few winners.
Thanks very much, and hopefully we're back to seeing you next week, Jim. Your computer's fixed.
If you're unlucky.
Cheers, thanks, folks. Good luck with your bets.